Testing. Is this thing on? Is it working? Hello? Make it work. Welcome, attrition members, YouTube subscribers, and passersby to the most comprehensive sim racecraft development program in the world. Brought to you by me, a complete noob who has no idea what's going on and is looking forward to figuring it out with all this wonderful core group. So we're entering into Season 2 of Attrition Sim Race Campus, now titled Road 101. Looking at you, Cammy, Mr. Martin. Attrition 101, name gone. Looking at Road 101 this season, just leaving the door open in case we decide to open up something there for those left turn lovers in the ovals. So many good things to say about this first 90-minute race of Season 2, and I'm going to hold off on that because right now I'm going to skip to the montage for everything that went wrong in this first 90 minutes. Now mine here wasn't picked up on the incident search, but I know what happened. It's an off track. Let's look at it. Notice my brake marker down there? I am completely exceeded threshold braking at the moment here where I recognize that my anticipation of the driver on the left here braking deep and taking an outside line. The moment that I realize my anticipation, my preparation is wrong, and he's actually setting up for a cutback, which means hard braking early and then a tighter turn in for an overtake on the exit of the turn. I recognize I've got two options: cut to the inside and scare him off his line, if not use him as brakes, or sacrifice myself and go off track. Watch my brakes lock up the moment that I realize what's happening. I've exceeded threshold braking. I've lost the ability for the car to actually stop. The anti-lock brakes are kicking in and all that bullshit is working. So I'm going to go a lot deeper than I would hope to, because I have gone past that 50-60% maybe where you're actually still maximizing your brakes, aka threshold braking. So I immediately just threw it off to avoid wrecking anybody else and then ease my way back in onto the track. Now you'll see I've got a video, I did a little highlight clip called "Don't Be That Guy," where it takes me a number of laps to catch back up to another train, and my first resolve is I'm going, don't be that guy, don't be that guy, don't be the guy who finally catches a train and then wrecks him into the first turn once I've caught up to him. because I haven't taken the time to evaluate what they're doing. Actually makes for a good instructional, helpful video there. So look up that one. Don't be that guy. Just highlighted that last night. Try to do a brief synopsis on the new penalty structure that we've got working for season 2, because this is new. Nobody's really been. This is our first chance for everybody to get a glimpse of it, other than how it is in writing. This one has more ambiguity built into it, rather than helps me to avoid throwing the same penalty on somebody who wrecks 3 cars versus the guy who just has a slight misjudgment. So there's a lot more going on. There's a lot more pressure on me to evaluate these things and to do a decent job and to figure out more. So I'm excited because I'm going to learn a lot more here. This is going to help me with my goal of developing my sim race craft, and hopefully will help everybody's race. Identifies more of what's expected from every driver, what things people need to be aware of, how to do stuff. And all in all, I think it's a much better system, but it's new, so we've got a lot to figure out on this mess. Let me go back to, I want to look at my lesson of the week in my race announcement private message for everybody. Let me read that to everybody, because we had 3 punts in this first 90-minute race. Drivers are always responsible to not hit drivers in front of them. Don't feel you deserve to be behind someone. Sack up, your feelings mean jack. That really hits back to the point that I just made on my little self-sacrifice there once, and don't be that guy video. That there's so many reasons why you can get stuck behind somebody and want to get ahead. It's always your responsibility to not hit them. You got to figure out what's going on. You got to take some time. And figure out and learn how that driver goes. Reputation is going to be everything in leagues, since our lives aren't at stake, our financials, our sponsors aren't at stake. Reputation is all we have. So take the necessary time, turns, or laps to plan and execute a clean overtake. And a lot of this comes from just my panties getting a bunch over the typical bullshit that happens in the official series for iRacing, because there's really no way to monitor that. Your only things that can really be protested there or have negative effects are really blatant bullshit. Pausing. Okay, yeah, on the ambiguity factor of this, so we've got 3 punts. Only one of them really fits the definition, which I need to click on this screen real quick here to look at that. Oh, get that back. Which is a protestable major that can escalate on severity of incident. A punt is when a car is moved significantly off their line by a nose-to-tail or side nose-to-side tail contact. That's significantly off their line. Only one of these 3 punts really fits that description. So 2 of them are de-escalated into a minor category because they're nose-to-tail contact, which is their responsibility to avoid that happening. But there was no significant move off the line. So only one of them actually fits the definition clearly and is going to fall into the least possible of 8 penalty points there, and the others de-escalated into minors, somewhere in the middle, 5 or 6 points. And pause it. Alright, we've got a number of solo spins. Not really a number, only a few actually. Really good over 90 minutes. Only a few solo spins. One looked to me like cold tires, cold track. That can be a big adjustment for many of us. And cold tires, cold track, man. When these front tires lock up on you, and all of a sudden you've got that oversteer kicked in, and there you go, spinning that tail right around. But those are reckless driving. It's a loss of control, which is a minor. We're looking at 1 penalty point on those. Where that really falls into play is where those can add up and tack on to that 5 or 6 points that you get for another de-escalated major or minor. Which I think actually happened to one of our de-escalated punts. Here comes Shane's shout out of the week, because I know Shane loves it when he gets the shout outs. And man, I'm so looking forward to Buddy Shane when you start getting less of these. You got that on edge racer reputation going. We're gonna look at what's a combination of reckless / shunt here. Shunt is that's that side to side. Let me go to the definition here. A protestable minor that can escalate on severity of incident. A shunt is when a car is moved off their line by side to side contact. Typically, a shunt is going to happen when there's a mutual rubbing is racing environment happening where two drivers are well aware and in the heat of a battle for position. Now, and in a corner, and there's a give and take, and a little bit too much, and you have that really minor rubbing. You get some side to side contact, and that's why it starts off as a minor, and it can escalate if it gets really ugly. Now, this is not a full-on shunt, as we'll see here, and I'm going with this as a reckless shunt combo because you're clearly looking, your body language over this whole situation, right, left, you're looking for some of these guys this is an uncomfortable, this slows everybody down through turn 3 here. That's a difficult spot to do side by side. It was executed well, but it slowed them down, and you got that advantage, and you're looking, your car is going from center to right, and then it just jumps left, looking for that optimal arc into the next turn, whether it's oblivious or trying to, all this right left going into here. I don't know if you're out of control. I don't know if you're just really looking to try and force this 3 wide into this next barely even acceptable 2 wide corner. We do have an escalation here on this one, because I'm really, it's kind of a de-escalation because it does move the black car off their line and actually slows it down for the rest of the race. But it's not really a shunt. It's not a dive. It's not a bomb. It's not a shunt. It's not reckless driving. It's a little bit of all of these. I went with reckless / shunt, and I'm thinking about 6 points, not the maximum for either one, but 6 points for both. 6 points for reckless, 6 points for shunt, putting you at 12, which does get us a penalty. So you're looking at the drive-through penalty next week. Here we have the other view of the whole thing where they've slowed in order to maintain a battle through here. And you're right, left, looking, or out of control on the twitch. And then just that jump from far inside, right over past the center line into the car. And you can see he was slid out and off. And it just... better decisions. Yeah, it boils down to the reputation you got going, Shane. That you're on edge, a little bit more calm. You've got talent. I love you for it. You got talent. You can hold a car. You can save a car. Just decision process. You need to improve that decision process a little bit. This is not a corner where you want to do 2 wide or 3 wide, especially from a position of jerking left, right. You're scaring the shit out of everybody around you on the track doing that. Better decisions.